Ever made a choice, I mean a big life choice, that turned your whole world upside down, especially with your family.
Oh, absolutely. Family dynamics can be incredibly complex.
Today we're going deep, deep into the story of Hannah.
Okay, Hannah, what's your story?
So Hannah is in her 30s, and her decision to marry Jason, well, let's just say it caused a 5-year rift with her parents, Robert and Linda. 5 years of silence.
Wow, 5 years is a long time. What happened? What went so wrong that they didn't speak for that long?
They actually went to the wedding but left early. That's how bad it was.
Oh, wow. Talk about making a statement. So it sounds like we're dealing with some serious disapproval here. Was it just about Jason himself? Or was there something more to it?
Well, Jason was Hannah's boss when they first started dating, so there's that.
Ah, the classic dating the boss scenario. Always good for some drama. But you're saying there's more to it.
Definitely more to it. It's never that simple, right?
Never. Families are complicated.
Okay, so 5 years go by. What finally broke the silence? What happened?
Ironically, it was a happy occasion that brought them back together. Get this. Hannah posted on social media celebrating her 5th wedding anniversary.
Okay.
Her parents, Robert and Linda, they saw the post, and that's how they found out they were grandparents. They had no idea Hannah and Jason had kids.
Hold on, they had no clue about the grandkids this whole time. That's crazy.
Completely blindsided. Talk about a shock.
So how did they react?
They reached out to Hannah, of course, wanted to meet their grandkids, even admitted they'd written her a letter on her wedding day but never sent it.
A letter they never sent. What was in the letter? I mean, that's a big deal, right? Holding on to something like that for 5 years?
Yeah, you can only imagine the emotions they were grappling with back then.
Sounds like maybe, just maybe, there's a chance for reconciliation here, right?
It seemed promising at first. They seemed remorseful, eager to connect.
But there's a but coming. I can sense it.
Well, like I said, family matters are never straightforward. During that video call, things took a bit of a turn.
Oh boy, here we go.
Robert started talking about how his biggest regret was not being able to walk Hannah down the aisle. He even brought up Hannah's deceased sister.
Oof, that's heavy. Bringing up a lost child, that's got to be painful for everyone.
Especially for Jason. 5 years of silence, and now suddenly they're bringing up all this past hurt. It felt like a slap in the face.
Understandable.
Mm.
So we've got unspoken feelings, old wounds resurfacing. This reconciliation seems to be on shaky ground.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? What happened next?
Well, you know that letter they never sent? Remember the one from the wedding day?
Yeah, they mentioned it.
It turns out that letter, it kind of revealed their true feelings about everything.
Really? What do you mean?
Well, during the video call, things got pretty tense, and Robert let slip a racial slur about Jason.
Oh, wow. So all this time, it wasn't just about Jason being Hannah's boss or Robert's grief over not walking her down the aisle. It was about race.
It seems that way, yeah. The whole boss thing, the grief, it was all just a smokescreen.
So their real issue with Jason was his race all along.
Seems like it. And they never actually said it out loud until that moment on the call.
I can't imagine how Hannah must have felt hearing that. After 5 years of silence, to find out the truth was so much worse than she thought. Devastating.
Yeah, it completely changes her understanding of the situation. Everything she thought she knew was suddenly wrong.
And now she's got these grandparents who desperately want to be in their grandkids' lives. But they haven't even acknowledged the real reason for their disapproval, let alone apologized for it. Talk about a rock and a hard place. What did Hannah do?
It was a truly impossible situation. Hannah was torn. She had her parents on one side wanting to be a family again, and on the other side, her husband and kids who deserve respect.
So how did she navigate this?
After a lot of soul-searching, Hannah made a decision. A really tough one.
What did she decide?
She chose to prioritize her husband and children. She put their well-being above a relationship with her parents.
Wow. To basically cut off her own parents. That must have been incredibly painful. But I understand why she did it. Exposing her children to that kind of prejudice. No way.
It's a stark reminder that sometimes even family can't overcome something as deeply rooted as prejudice. And sometimes you have to protect yourself and those you love, even if it means making really hard choices.
It really makes you think about the limits of forgiveness and how deeply family history can affect us. And ultimately, Hannah's courage to stand up for what she believed in, even when it meant losing people she loved. What a powerful story. It makes you think about the long-term impact, like, can prejudice ever really be overcome? Can people like Robert and Linda actually change?
That's the big question, isn't it? I mean, it's easy to just condemn their actions, but the real challenge is trying to understand if real change is even possible. Can people with deep-seated prejudices actually transform?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, how do you even begin to unpack and unlearn those beliefs, especially after decades?
It's a long and difficult process, that's for sure. It takes a lot of introspection, willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself, a real commitment to unlearning those harmful beliefs.
It goes way beyond just saying, I'm sorry, right?
Exactly. It's about recognizing the systemic issues that contribute to these biases and taking responsibility for dismantling them.
So, in a situation like Hannah's, where there's so much hurt and betrayal, is reconciliation even possible? I mean, even if her parents genuinely try to change, can the damage ever truly be repaired?
That's a question only Hannah and her family can answer. Forgiveness is a deeply personal thing. There's no right or wrong answer, no set timeline. It's about acknowledging the pain, respecting boundaries, and having honest conversations, if those even happen.
This whole story is just a powerful reminder that family relationships are complicated, and Hannah's strength, her decision to prioritize her family's well-being, even when it meant walking away from her own parents. Just wow.
Absolutely. It highlights the lasting impact of prejudice and the need to address it head on, both within ourselves and in our communities. We all have a responsibility to examine our own biases and work towards a more just world.
This deep dive has been incredibly thought-provoking. It reminds us that sometimes we have to make difficult choices to protect the people we love, and it leaves us with a lot to consider. But the complexity of families, the legacy of prejudice, and the potential for healing, even in the face of immense pain.
It's a story that sticks with you, and it emphasizes the importance of having these tough conversations to shine a light on the dark part so we can build a better future, one where stories like Hannah's are the exception, not the rule.